I failed my first year Spanish class and then self-studied for 9 months and became more fluent than my classmates who had been studying for 9 years but still couldn't hold a conversation. So what's really going on here? Traditional language learning methods start with good intentions and they seem like they should work, but they just don't. What's wrong with traditional language learning? Why you've been studying Spanish for so long and you still can't hold a conversation? And what to do about it? Let's say you're trying to learn how to cook. The Spanish class equivalent of learning how to cook is they teach you to become recipe collectors. You study every aspect of cooking and you learn all about science and the chemistry, these complex recipes, yet you're not even able to make toast. Spanish classes are all about getting good at Spanish class, getting good at filling in the blank, memorizing information, memorizing conjugation cards, regurgitating information on the test, speaking with classmates whose Spanish is just as bad as yours or worse, and having very little exposure to anything that resembles real life use of language. I realized that this is actually why I hated Spanish class and why I thought I was bad at Spanish. I wasn't interested in memorizing one size fits all vocabulary lists for shopping, dining out, going to the airport, buying an apartment, and all of this different information and these different words. And I had no clear path to how to use them. Anytime that I ever tried to use Spanish, I just reverted to whatever poor classroom Spanish I had at the time and would just freeze and lock up. See, as long as you are treating language learning as something to be studied and tested on, you're never really going to get to the root of what makes it work. Language invades everything we do. And to become fluent in Spanish, you have to let it seep into every area of your life. You can't just rehearse unrealistic scenarios in a classroom and hope that one day it's all going to click. It won't. I promise you, it won't. I have talked to people who have been learning for 8, 9 years, and they have followed these traditional methods, and their Spanish sucks. It just sucks. And this is not their fault. It's just because traditional methods suck. So what's the solution? If we go back to our cooking analogy, if you think of learning Spanish, like learning how to cook, where are you going to start? You're going to start realistic, right? You're going to learn how to make toast, how to make eggs, how to make rice, how to boil water, all of the basics, the equivalent of making toast or breakfast in the morning and burning your eggs and figuring out through trial and error is real conversation with native speakers in real life. Yeah, no, that's terrifying. Not in the classroom, not with your teacher. Now, your teacher can be a great resource, but you actually have to find native Spanish speakers and talk to them. You can do this online, you can do this on person. I know it can be terrifying sometimes. I've been doing this for years, and sometimes I still get nervous, but I promise you, it's actually probably going to be one of the best experiences you've ever had. And what you're going to realize is that there's this whole set of vocabulary that you don't know, which seems really basic. Why are you learning Spanish? Oh, that's so interesting. Why are you curious to learn my language? Think about the first conversation you're going to have with a native speaker. There's all of these words and phrases that are going to come up. I guarantee you, a lot of them are not in any first, second, or third year Spanish textbook. So go out, start conversations. You can even just start with yourself. Start thinking about everything in your life. as an opportunity to learn Spanish. Every thought, everything that you see, everything that you write, if you write in your journal, start thinking about the way that you use language in your life and start thinking about, if I were to translate this to Spanish, what would that be? You start small and build up. This is what I did. And I went from, like I said, I just could not understand it in the first year and I hated it. Then when I started applying this mindset shift and I saw myself as an autodidactic Spanish learner, like I took responsibility for learning and directing my curiosity to actually learn those words, phrases, and the grammar rules related to my personal life. I made massive progress. That got me to the point where I could actually have conversation with native speakers. And then I became incredibly curious because I started to see how much fun language learning can actually be. And I started diving deeper and deeper into content. And then eventually, that's why I decided to move and learn through immersion. It was this mindset shift of, okay, if I'm going to learn, I'm going to learn through doing. I'm going to stop studying recipes, collecting different ingredients and techniques for things that I don't know how to make. If I want to learn Spanish, I'm going to do it by getting into conversations, by watching authentic content, by going through comprehensible input. We'll talk about that. So start thinking about this mindset shift. I know it can be a little bit frustrating because you're like, okay, tell me exactly what to do. But a lot of this is the mindset shift that needs to happen. This is day 4. We'll talk about something else in day 5. I will see you tomorrow.